Thank you so much, Sister Carolyn, for those wonderful insights. Loved your meditation, as I always do, because it wakes us up, gets us going, to become familiar. Yes, so we become familiar with what's in us. What's really in us? Do we spend any time dealing with the greater power that's within us, which we call the philosophy of Enlightenism, which is the consciousness of truth? Is always there, Sister Carolyn. Thank you so much for those wonderful, wonderful insights. Okay, folks, you just listened to Sister Carolyn share with us a great meditation. As usual, she got us started, so now I have to get into my part of this information so that you can feel what it means to be with yourself. This work is about finding the self. People have talked about having bits and pieces about the self. Who are you aware of being? Who is this person that you are aware of being? This person that you are aware of being is the one that has the greater power, if you will allow this power into you, into your life. In your life, in you, is the power to change how you think and live. This work is for those seeking a new way to think and live. It's not a concept of freedom that we have heard about in the social construct. See, when people talk about freedom in the social construct, the freedom has been distorted by what someone else has told you about yourself. So the freedom is distorted, folks. You're not getting a real good flavor of the freedom. The work of Enlightenism and self-discovery is the key for you to have direct knowledge of a new way to think and live. Not hearsay information, but direct knowledge of the self, of the awareness of being, the consciousness of truth within you. The four principles of the Enlightenism philosophy that gets you started. It's not the end, it's the beginning. 1, I acknowledge that I am responsible for the current conditions in my life. I'm responsible for whatever is happening in my life, whether I can admit to it, accept it or not. It's the starting point. Say, well, look, this is the way it is. I am here today based upon decisions I have been making all of my life to lead me to this point. That's where I am. What caused this? What caused me to feel the way that I'm feeling today and that I feel on some days when I'm feeling pain and suffering? What is the cause? The conditions in my life are caused by my beliefs and values. That's the second principle. The beliefs in my life, the conditions in my life are caused by my beliefs and values. And I can acknowledge that today. And I also can acknowledge that I have the power to change my beliefs and values. I have this power to change what other people have told me about myself. But in order to do that, you go into the fourth principle, which is the key principle. I must first enter into self-discovery. To change my beliefs and values, I have to enter into self-discovery within the mind, within the consciousness, so that I can get a new way to think and live. Now, freedom is not an ideal or a concept. It's something you discover for yourself. You have direct knowledge, not hearsay information. See, all that we have ever been taught in the social construct is hearsay information. it's hearsay. And we want to believe that it's real. We do not have to be victims or powerless, nor do we have to believe by changing a law we change ourselves. The change begins with you discovering something on your own, to reiterate over and over again to yourself, I am divinely created with a powerful mind. This powerful mind is all that I need to overcome the conditions in my life. When I began to defend hearsay information, meaning things you've heard about other people, from other people, that you now claim as your own. And I hear people quite frequently quoting things from the past. The past cannot help you. See, the past cannot help you because you are the parent of your future. You're creating in this moment, moments after this moment. And who is doing the creation? You. And you are the one that does not feel free. I live in a country where freedom has been discussed all of my life and before my life. So someone just said, well, let's be free. So someone decided to fight a war called a Civil War about freedom. Well, the slaves should be free. They were divinely created by God, so they should be free. So let's emancipate the slaves with a proclamation. And now they're free. I'm going back to this point in time because it's hearsay information. But we have generally accepted that it happened. But we weren't present in the world. So when things are passed on from generation to generation, I call it generational toxicity. Generational toxicity means the beliefs and values passed on from one generation to the next. So someone teaches you about freedom, what it means, what does it look like, how do you achieve it? Well, I am dealing with presenting to you today an antidote for generational toxicity, to overcome it. We have the power to let go of our dependency on the past. It's difficult because we want to quote and rely upon the information because we've used it all of our lives. And many believe they are erudite, highly intelligent, because they have learned about somebody else's belief, somebody else's philosophy, not their own. What is the philosophy of people who have been victimized in this country? What is the solution? To live in it? To pass on unfinished business to another generation of people? To teach children to believe that the children are going to succeed in obtaining freedom that you cannot define to them so that they can understand what is it? You're not. When you are dealing with direct information of yourself, you must feel the freedom. The antidote for change begins with you. It's not all of this other stuff that other people have been dealing with. The law or the proclamation that ended slavery did not end slavery. It did not end slavery because it doesn't have the power to change anyone's mind. You can control people, you can make them live a certain way, but you cannot eradicate the pain. There is nothing happening, no science, no religion that can get rid of the pain you're feeling. And when you're feeling it, I don't care how much money you get, or you achieve in life, or you acquire. Who are you aware of being? And how do you get out of the mindset that you have embodied over time by listening to what other people and relying and depending on what other people told you about life itself, about who you are? They train you how to live in the society, how to live in the social construct with pain. And always thinking that if you could just change, if I could just change what's happening outside of me, everything would be all right. But you have to change what's inside of you. And I know people talk about this all the time. Well, what's greater in you is much greater than what's outside. The power greater in you. So you've heard biblical quotations for using this statement. You've heard people talk about it that want to deal with motivational speakers and inspiration. But what is missing in this piece of what they're talking about, you don't know the power in you that's free. And that's the part of Enlightenism. We're talking about the power in you that is actually free. And it only knows freedom. It does not know the social construct. So you cannot communicate with yourself using information from the social construct because you're coming in thinking that you are powerless. You are needy. Lack, limitation, and struggle. You need something. Well, it's acknowledging that you don't. All you need is clarity. A clarity that is unknown to all of the science and religions of the world. It's something that you directly know for yourself. Your parents didn't teach you. Your teachers in high school and college didn't teach you. This is something you know personally about you. It's called direct knowledge. I call it self-acquired intuitive knowledge, meaning knowledge that comes from the consciousness of truth in you. It is there that you are able to use 4 steps to change how you think and live and to create a new person, a new awareness of being. The first one is a clear mind using the clarity from the greater power within you to create a vision of you that is diametrically different than the one that you've been living all of your life. This person must be different. This person must already have experienced freedom. An awareness of being free with no connections to the past. Everything begins in the moment of transformation. When you let go of the past in your decision making and thinking, you bury the past. Now your beginning is in the present moment. And when the second step is when you can embody what you have envisioned in the present moment. Take all of that stuff out about what you want to be. What I in the future, I'm going to be a great player. I'm going to be a great this. No, the greatness appears in the vision. And when you can embody and accept it, it's similar to an example I use all the time in my presentations. It's like an artist with the vision of a new painting that no one has seen except the artist. The artist has seen the painting in his mind. But he hasn't taken what's in the mind and put it on a portrait, on a piece of paper, so that others can see what he or she sees. Now, that's not struggle. There is no struggle involved in work, of the work to express who you were divinely created to be. There is no struggle. Struggle is to be like somebody wants you to be, telling you how you should be. So that's why people are struggling all the time. It's why you're beaten down. You're beaten down because you cannot be who other people want you to be. That's not direct knowledge of the self. That's hearsay knowledge from someone else that's telling you this is the way you should live. And you're tracing your lineage back to a past, not to the beginning of a new way to think and live. And the third is that when you're doing the work, you're removing everything that conceals your vision. Everything, all the doubts, all of the confusion and everything. So you're working now to do the work of a new portrait. Because there has to be some time, folks. All this stuff about you just wake up one morning and have an epiphany and all the things, that is not happening to anyone, ever. This is not a world where there is favoritism in consciousness. Favoritism, oppression, all of those things that we're seeing, anger, destruction, hatred, greed, these are things that come from the social construct mindset. It doesn't come from a cleansed consciousness within you. So when you lose that social construct mindset, then you have some clarity. And now the struggle that you believe that you have to struggle for, you already have it. But then when you start the work, the social construct, if you're not committed, then everything you have learned. So now you start trying to use Kant and Bertrand Russell and John Paul Sartre and all of these philosophers, and you're trying to use them now to do your work. And you cannot do that. This has to be direct knowledge to understand that you, the person who may have been believed that you were lowly, a lowly person in the world, that you are divinely created with a powerful mind. And the fourth step is action, because action means that you have to act upon working in the mind. You must enter into this new self-discovery where you understand that you are not working in the mind to fulfill things that you have heard about in the social construct. Meaning, you're not trying to fulfill someone else's vision about struggle, about victimization, about superiority, and all of those things, and inferiority. You are not working to continue those beliefs. You're letting go. And as you're letting go, you're freeing the mind so that you become comfortable being yourself naturally. You can't just wake up and say, I had an epiphany, like something you read about. It doesn't work that way. You're not waking up, going down a road, bright light shining on you, and all of a sudden, all of the things you have believed in all of your life are going to disappear, and you are not going to depend upon that information to describe and define who you are. That's not happening. Because all of the work that we have heard about is to make the social construct better by using beliefs and values that came from the social construct mindset. In other words, people say, this is not fair. This is such an unfair world, unfair society. But you have to understand what is fair. It is actually a fair society. What is unfair, when it becomes unfair, is when you start believing more in the society than in yourself. See, that's when the unfairness kick in. Because now you believe more on the things outside of you. You want to devote your life to things outside of you. And then you want to deny what is inside of you. and then play with yourself to say, I'm playing with myself because I'm working inside of the mind. Yeah, I'm really working in the mind. And so someone can say, well, what are you working with? What are the tools you're working with? What is different than what you've been working with all of your life? What is different and what I am talking about is that you are changing how you think and live. You are letting go of people, places, and things. You're falling into a peaceful aura within yourself. It's a realm of consciousness where you feel peaceful about who you are. You don't have to worry about other people and what other people are going to think about you. Because if you're worried about what other people are going to think about you, then you're living in a social construct. Someone asked me the other day, if what you're saying, Brother Malcolm, then why are people homeless? Why are people in prison? Why are people killing each other? Why can't people overcome poverty and racism and so forth? And my answer to the person is, begin with yourself. What is it that you want to change in your life before you start changing other people? What is it that you want to change? Are you homeless? Are you killing people? Are you in prison? Are you? What direct knowledge do you have of this? And when you understand that, folks, then you understand the greater power is enlightenism. I'll be back on the air all the time. So check me out. And you can go and check out all of this information. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all social media. But I'm also talking to you, and I want to thank each one of you for taking the time to join with me today so that I could engage with you about something that is so wonderful that we all can say, we are divinely created with powerful minds. And today, we're going to begin our journey to think and live with powerful minds. Have a great day. Thank you. See you on my next interview, on my next video. Thank you, Sister Carolyn. Have a great day, folks.